Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Should You Play, where we take a look at miniature games, look at their pros, their cons, and then let you guys decide if it's the game for you. Today we are looking at the Wizkids classic Heroclix. It's gone through a few iterations and it switched companies in 2008. However, it originally released in 2002, meaning it is now a 20-year-old game. If you're not sure how it works, to briefly go through it, there are a ton of different franchises and IPs in the game. So for example, the big two are obviously Marvel and DC, but you can also get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Street Fighters, Halo, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, quite a few different options just to throw into battle. You're going to build your own teams, so you could have Legolas fighting alongside Iron Man, or Batman and Captain Kirk teaming up to take them on. It is a team deathmatch. There are a few different variations, sort of like battle royales, and you can create your own. There is a very passionate community to this game, so you will be able to find help online. You will be able to find help in articles and stuff to try out different ways to play the game. But it is normally a deathmatch. You're going to play against your opponent. Whoever can take the most points from knockouts wins. If that sounds interesting to you, let's take a look at the next point. Community. Like I've touched on there, it is a very close-knit community. It's not a huge community. I'm going to say that now. If you're looking for a game where there's hundreds or thousands of people at events or tens of thousands online talking about the game, you're not going to get that with Heroclix. You're going to get a few thousand maybe. It is nothing compared to other games like Warhammer or Middle-earth, or even its alternative Marvel Protocol or the DC miniature game. But I would say the community that there is very close-knit. There is a ton of support for it on YouTube. There's a ton of great channels. There's a few useful Facebook groups and Reddits and so many useful things online where people are very, very passionate about this game. I've been playing this for at least 10 years now, maybe 15, I'm not sure. That might slightly age me, but so I've been a massive fan of this game for a long time, and most people are. You will find people in this game tend to be on the older side as well. So I would say it is a very pleasant community as well for the most part. Heroclix, I would say, one of the best communities I've ever played in, hands down. I do play here in the UK, but I've seen stuff online of the US being the same. There's a ton of events for charity, there's a ton of events making it easier for new players to play. So if this is a game you're thinking about, you're worried about the community, maybe you're a little introverted, I would say this is the perfect game for you. So what about the gameplay? Now, I've tried to introduce a few friends to this game in the past, and it can feel very daunting when you look at the rulebook and see just how many powers there are. In recent times, Heroclix have tried to combat this, so in sets they've reduced the amount of powers used, or in their starter sets they only use a handful of powers per character, making it very easy just to put your foot in, dip your toe in, test it out before you go all in. Now, this does mean the starter sets are perfect to test this game, so I would say if you're looking at trying the gameplay, they're a good place to start. If you're a little worried about the powers, or maybe you're watching this video thinking, I want to get into Heroclix but I'm not sure how, I do have 4 videos going through movement powers, attack powers, defense, and damage powers, all individually, focusing on each power as I go. If you've got any questions, drop them in this video or drop them on one of those and I will help you the best I can. I am also planning a video on where I'm going to play out a match, but it's just going to be for the purpose of showing you how to play the game. So if that might be something you're looking for, it might be something you want to see, make sure you're subscribed, as that will be coming in the following weeks. A quick overview of the gameplay though. Basically in a turn you can do a power action, you can do a ranged action, or you can do a close combat action, and any amount of free, as long as it's not the same free action repeated. By doing this you can activate powers like running shot, which lets you move and attack. Normally a power action is going to be something that lets you combo stuff, makes your characters slightly more useful. So you're going to move your team towards your enemy and you're going to try and take out characters, slowly whittle them down, and hopefully take the victory by knocking out more of their characters. Or I should say more of their characters' points. So each character has a point. This is what I like about Heroclix. It is very unique in its design. It's got a click dial, which you turn slowly as it takes damage. So let's say it took 4, you would spin it around 4 times, and that would change its stats and powers dependent on the character. So for example, if you did it to the Hulk, there would be a chance he gets stronger, he gets more powerful. So maybe you don't want to hit him, you want to go for someone else. But eventually they're going to click that dial and it's going to be a KO. And that means that character is knocked out. Now, for example, if it was a 50-point Batman, you would score 50 points. At the end of the game, you total up how many you've scored, and the winner is the one with the most points. Now, that is a really simplified version of this. There is so much more that goes into this game, so much that makes it unique in the team building and the theme teams and combinations of characters that make this game what it is. Now, in any of these videos, I do like to point out some stuff that people might not like, just so you don't get into the game and feel like you've been cheated by this video in any way. So let's talk about the models. Now, if you're massively into hobby games, let's say you play Warhammer currently and you're looking for another miniature game to get into, this one, the characters are pre-built, they're pre-painted in the package. So when you open a booster, you can play it out there in store, which is a good thing. But if you're massively into painting and creating and all that crafting side of the hobby, this isn't going to be the game for you. Well, I should say, if that's what you're looking for in a game entirely, this isn't the game. There is stuff like Marvel Protocol, which might be more up your alley if that's what you're into. However, if you are playing, let's say you're playing a ton of miniature games already, you're looking for something fun and fast to get into, Heroclix is that title. You could literally go to a store, buy a couple of boosters, open them with friends, and play a match there and then. Obviously, that's very different to regular miniature games, but I do think it has its place, and I do think there's going to be a lot of people out there, like me, that enjoys that type of thing because of the other miniature games you play. The models and the plastic is quite, I would say it's durable because it is quite bendy, so it's very hard for them to snap. But it does happen. Sometimes I've got boosters with parts snapped or parts missing, but it's not a common occurrence. That's probably happened to me once, twice in the years I've been playing. Some people online have been more unlucky, so I will say it does happen. But also, if you are missing stuff, Wizkids are very good at helping out, sending those pieces missed, as a few of my friends and myself have done before. Another important question is the future of this game. Is it going to still be around in a few years? You don't want to pay all this money and get into a game only for it to disappear in a few weeks, a few months. Like I said, Heroclix has been around 20 years now. It stood the test of time. It's one that's stuck around. Even though, like I've said, the community isn't huge, but it's so passionate. It's so important to the game. I think that's what's kept it around. We get interesting sets based on comic books, so it's always relevant. This year coming, we've got some, I would say, the biggest sets. If you like the Disney What If series, there's a What If series coming to Heroclix, so it's going to have all of those characters, all of those that you love from the episodes that you can put now on the battlefield. So I'm super excited for that. I think that's going to be a huge point for this game. So if you're enjoying that type of stuff, it does look like Heroclix is trying to take that on, is trying to bring it to this game. So this might be the game for you if you're a fan of the Disney series, but also there's a celebratory set for the 20th anniversary. There's just so much going on currently in Heroclix. I would say it's one of the most exciting times for it, honestly. If you're an X-Men fan, Avengers fan, we've had a ton of those recently. So there's a ton of those characters you can play with. At times, Heroclix has felt a little rocky, and I do think it's probably not at the height it once was. But I do see this year maybe bringing that back and bringing a lot of new players into the game. So I would say you can feel fairly certain it's going to stick around. Obviously, another bonus is you can see a year in advance. You can see what sets are planned, what figures are coming. So that's always good. You always know you've at least got a year to enjoy it. But I can't see this one going anywhere. It truly is a classic in my eyes as miniature games go. Sure, it's a little different to stuff like Warhammer, Middle-earth, all of that stuff. But it definitely has its place. So if you're looking for a verdict, if you're looking for a one-word answer, should I get into Heroclix, yes or no? I'm gonna say yes. This personally is one of my favorite games. If you love Marvel, if you love DC, or one of the other 10, maybe 20 other IPs they've gained in the past, this is the game for you. I would say look in your area, try and find players, try and find people to connect with about the game and play games with. You can also play it online. I do think it loses some of the charm, but obviously in the current climate, it might be the only way you can do it. Like I said, if you need any advice, if you need even tester games, drop in the comments below. Maybe it's something I can help with. I can definitely help with any questions you've got. Hopefully this has helped you make a decision on whether you want to get into Heroclix or not. There obviously are other alternatives within the superhero miniature games, which are more hobby based. So It's dependent on what you're looking for in this game. I just want to say a massive thanks to Dan Miles, my first Patreon ever. I've not actually mentioned on the channel I've got a Patreon. It is in the description normally, but I don't like pointing people to it. It's just there if someone thinks, I like these videos, I'd like to help out, and go searching for it. It feels a little weird pointing to it, but I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for taking not only the time to find it, but for wanting to support me in any way. I really do appreciate it. Massive thanks to you. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a like if you want to see more Heroclix and miniature games. That's all I've got for this episode though. I will catch you in the next one.
You